soul.
This is Bass Talk Live. Your host, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pangrack. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Lose, Strike King Lures, Bass Cat Boats, Ducket Fishing, Spro, AFCO, Big Bite Baits, Sunline, and TH Marine. BTL coming at you. Good Thursday, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Yes, you are looking at a live shot, live via Skype, of Matt in Tulsa. I am in the studio, and today is one of our favorite days, the Sunline Hotline show, where the fans can call in and really ask us anything. And Matthew, you're going to give away some stuff today. I'm going to give away some stuff. What do you got, man?
Did you figure out what you're giving away, Mark?
No.
You still haven't figured out. I got it right next to me. All right. I have Sunline Asagai X Plasma. This is from my personal stock, by the way.
Well, I'm sure you can get more.
Year. So this is the stuff I'm using. This is a 10-pound test, and it's like got some slick coating on it. You can cast like a Ned rig, a shaky head, like forever.
Nice.
On this stuff. So I will give away a spool of this Sunline X Plasma, and then it just seemed like the trendy thing to do. So I have 2 packages, and one caller will get both of these packages of the flamethrower and the flamethrower green pumpkin in the Big Bite Baits Swim On, which they were really pumping hard at the Classic, but it's like orange and green pumpkin swirl.
Yeah.
And it's got some red in there too. So it's actually like a triple swirl. But it basically turns your chatterbait into an orange kicker blade. So that's the green pumpkin swirl. And then the other one is the flamethrower. And it's just like bright orange with a little bit of red. It's like an orange-red swirl in there.
Very nice.
So, timely stuff. Put that on your spike. So I went with the braid because literally, like, this will stay on my spinning rod all year. Yeah. Like, I don't change it. And then you just put the leader on. You can crappie fish, trout fish, bass fish with it, whatever. But, like, I just changed out my SX1 from last year, and it was, 365 days on there, no issues. So you still don't know what you're giving away?
No, I'll figure it out.
Used socks from
a
baseball game a couple years ago.
No, I'll figure something out. It'll be good though. All right. So what are you giving that away for today?
I'm giving the X Plasma Saga away for the best, hairiest run. The best story for the hairiest run.
Okay.
Without doing, but here's a stipulation. You can't really have like done a really boneheaded move to get into the hairy situation. Like if you ignored all sorts of safety advice to get into the situation, but if you were like in where you're like had done your homework, life jacket on, everything's clear, and then you get in there and you realize, oh crap, I'm in it. And I didn't you know what I mean?
Oh, I got you.
I mean, I'm not giving this away to the biggest idiot is all I'm saying, Mark. I'm giving it away.
All right.
Someone who thought they had their T's crossed and I's dotted and all of a sudden found themselves in a hairy situation. And then I will just randomly pick one of the call-in winners for the swim-ons.
All right. I think what I'm going to give away, I don't know. I'll look over there. There's a zillion things over there I can give away. But what I'm going to give away my stuff for is going to be the best tinkering story. In other words, the best lure modification that somebody has done out there. I will make sure that you get taken care of on something very nice. In fact, during the break, I may walk over there and and see what I got. It's just
so they just going to call in and explain what they do.
Yeah.
To modify their baits.
Yeah, somebody wants to give away a sweater vest. I don't know if I can do that or not.
That would be interesting.
No, those are too near and dear to my heart. There's no way I'm giving away a sweater vest there.
Gotta get. I mean,
Frank.
I saw at the Classic you did get an AFCO. You did get an AFCO code, did you not?
Yeah, but I haven't ordered anything yet.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get AFCO to make you a sweater vest.
That would be cool. I would wear it a lot.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see what I could do. Mark Jeffrey Signature Series AFCO sweater vest.
That's it. I would wear it a lot. I am the sweater vest guy. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to cover a couple of things first, then we'll take a break and then come back. I want to let everybody know, you see the number right there on your screen. It's 405-253-5543. Do not call until we come back from our break. We will have 2 breaks today. So after we come back from our first break, we'll start taking phone calls. But Matthew, we got to talk about first just an epic hour of fishing on Lake Athens by Ott DeFoe. It was pretty incredible, especially the 9-pounder that he caught during the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they didn't really catch him that good for the first couple periods, and I was kind of in and out watching it, like doing stuff, prepping for doomsday. And and then there in the last half hour, Ott gets on the bridge, and it was interesting. He was using his motor and other people's motor to actually get that school fired up. It was a mixture of white bass and largemouth. And he got on one of those like every cast deals, and there were like 9s and 5s and 2s. His Marshall Sterling Boer? Yeah. Is from Oklahoma, which is the Bass Nation stuff and all that. Yeah. I never heard anybody call Ott sir so much. That's a 9-pound 4-ounce, sir. You now lead by 13 pounds, sir. You now lead by 20 pounds, sir. You now lead by 30 pounds, sir. You're now uncatchable, sir. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Hey, he was heck of a job there, and was doing a great job because was in that situation like the official was with Edwin, where he was catching him so fast he couldn't put him in. So good job to Sterling. Very polite etiquette from Sterling. So blow away win for Ott. Your scales are ready, sir. How many times did he say that? Good stuff. I'm making fun. I'm just saying. No, it was really good. Courteous official I'd ever heard. But yeah, so now the situation is all those guys got to get home, which is a challenge for some of them, especially the guys out there on the West Coast. I saw pictures of the Littners in an empty airport, and Rojas was sending pictures as the only guy on the plane, and you got Skeet out there, and Ayler, and Cody Meyer, and just a bunch of guys that live out on the West Coast or have family that are out there in areas that are basically under lockdown right now. Yeah. I want to go back to the final hour that Ott had. He was 20 pounds back with an hour to go. And when I saw a shot of all those fish schooling, and it was a great lesson for people across America that when you see those white bass schooling, because he caught a few white bass that were schooling in there. But man, you talk about just a perfect situation and a perfect spot where those fish were moving around. He caught pre-spawn, he caught post-spawn, just beautiful, beautiful fish. But just the perfect situation, man. It was the perfect storm. It was, but I mean, everyone will be like, "Oh, he just went to a bridge." But if you watch throughout the day, a lot of the guys were up on the bank, and every time they talked to Ott, he kind of got started early out on an offshore spot with hydrilla. He looked the entire day for those schools of fish, and instead of trying to pick off bedders and individual fish, he actually committed the whole day to kind of looking for those groups of fish that he had seen during practice. And like I said, he found them in the last hour. So kind of a different strategy that he employed. I mean, it looked like it was going to just be a shootout, whoever caught the last fish there between Brett Chapman, Mark Daniels Jr., Ott, and Alton Jr. Yeah. And I mean, it turned into an absolute runaway. Once Ott left, how many of those boats do you think went up to that area that he was fishing? I mean, probably all of them. They probably all had fished it, though, before. I'm sure that they're all like, oh, really? This is where it's going to go down? I mean, it's a It's a bridge corner with riprap, a pinch point, a funnel point in March.
Yeah.
I mean, it's classic. It's a Hank Cherry spot. It's a Randy Howell spot, an Aaron Martin spot. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's right place, right time, and then doing a couple little things like having the right bait and getting the water stirred up to the right amount, and then realizing that it's not just white bass and finding your angle and finding your cast. That's where the skill is involved in that. And then also landing the fish. I mean, look at how many of those fish were just kind of barely hooked, and he didn't even go nuts on it. He's just like, it's a big one, barely hooked, and he got almost, I mean, all of them in except for that last one that was like a second too late.
Yeah, it was very, very cool to watch him land the 9-pounder. The way that he played that fish was very, very entertaining. Yeah.
But he's like so mellow, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. What Ike had done in that situation.
Yeah. He would have went Ike. That's what he does. That's his personality. But a really good tournament for MDJ. I know, obviously, probably a little disappointed in his performance at Lake Athens, but man, I mean, he thoroughly dominated at Lake Fork, and then you go to that different body of water, and it was just one here, one there. Couldn't really get anything going from a momentum standpoint, but when you have that situation and you see all of a sudden that last hour, you see that score tracker going up and up and up and up, man, that's got to be deflating.
Yeah, well, I've done it, at the local level where you're in it and then someone all of a sudden finds something, and then you the first thing when you look like after the second period, you're in the lead or close to it after the first period, and then when we do the local MLS stuff, you update it at the end of every period, right?
Yeah.
So then like you look at it at the end of the second period and you like put your fish in and you're like, oh, that must be a typo. But then you see the weight keep going up and up as the guy's inputting it, and then you realize, oh, crap, I'm 30 pounds behind. Like, this guy found something special. So then you either continue to try to grind it out to place, or you, like, scrap everything and restart because you're like, okay, there is schooling. There is an every cast deal going on out here. But the difference was, by the time Ott got on that and everyone else realized what was happening, like, there was no adjusting. Like, everyone literally went from fishing for the win to fishing for second in a 15-minute time period.
Yeah.
There was no, hey, let's go figure out what Ott's on because he's going to get too far ahead. No, it was just like bam, 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 thanks for coming out. And the other guys immediately started fishing for second place.
Yeah.
I never seen so many guys just start fishing for second place in a span of 15 minutes. Have you, Mark?
No, it was crazy, but it was fun to watch. I mean, now the drama went from, oh my gosh, who's going to win, to who's going to finish in second.
Interesting turning point in this when Ott was behind. So Ott's behind, right? Mark Daniels Jr. They got like 30 pounds apiece. It's like every 2-pounder counts. Ott's on that corner. He catches a white bass. He catches a couple bass. Then he catches one. I think it'll score. Weighs it, 115. Takes it off the scale. Reweigh it, 115. Dang. Starts to put it back. Reweigh it a third time. I guess they get 3 reweighs on this.
Yeah.
This time when he puts it on the scale, I'm not saying he did anything illegal or anything, but instead of, putting it on, there's a little bit of slack in that when he clips it and then he drops the fish. 2 even. As soon as it says 2 even, he unhooks it and throws it back. Now, that's 3 weighs, 2 of which were on 115. The third one touches 2 for a second, and he drops it back in. And at that point, that was like within ounces of each other, so everything is 2 pounds.
Yeah.
They gotta figure out the little tweaks in that, because I don't think that's a good look to weigh it 3 times, and then the third time it's different. And B, each time they're putting it on the scale, he's putting it on a little bit different, kind of dropping the fish, which I would have done, which you would have done, which everybody would have done to try to get that extra ounce for 2.
Yeah.
And then, when it's 2, as soon as you get it to pop it off, I want that fish to have to stay on there for 2 minutes. I don't like the guys who, as soon as the guy starts saying 2, is trying to get that fish off and back into the lake. That bothered me at the time, because I was like, I actually made a note in my phone and wrote it down, at the time of when it was on the show, because if it had come down to a battle of ounces and that had been it, that would have been a critical component where he had 2 opportunities to throw that fish back at 115, and then that same scale that had read 115 On the third time, reads 2 pounds. So what was that fish? Was that a 115 fish? Was that a 2 pound fish? And that only cost 15 ounces or 1 ounce last year. Under the 1 pound minimum, that would have been a 115 instead of a 2.0. So it would have been a 1 ounce deal, right?
Yeah.
This year, that's a 2 pound deal.
Yeah.
Which is big when it's a tight field.
No, I agree.
They got to figure out something with that. I mean, I didn't like that.
So what do? Do you weigh the fish twice instead of 3 times?
I think you get one. You get one reweigh. I think it's like a coach's challenge. You can't be reweighing everything all the time. I think give them like a timeout. Give them 3 coaches challenge. Give them 3 reweighs a freaking round.
Scale challenges.
Yeah, give them 3 reweighs around. But when that fish is on the scale, after the official calls the weight, I think you got to let it set there for 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
I like
you can
that.
take it off.
I like
Instead
that.
of 3 reweighs, and as soon as the T for 2 comes, boom, that fish is off and gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not saying anybody did anything incorrect. I'm not saying there wasn't anything done that was above board. I was saying that was Ott knowing the rules, knowing the rules and doing what he needed to do to try to get a 2 pounder, but then miraculously on the third try, which that fish technically should have weighed less because any water weight by the time you weigh it a third time, the fish isn't magically going to get heavier while it's out in the air. It's going to get lighter with all the water droplets and everything in the gill plates, and now all of a sudden it's an ounce heavier.
Yeah. I like that. I think you're dead on to something there. Maybe 1 scale challenge per round or quarter or whatever they call it.
Per period or whatever.
Per period, yeah. Yeah. Those scales, though, I mean, they're not perfect. They're 99.9% effective probably, and those situations do occur. Hence, that's why they have the luxury of weighing a fish 3 times. But I agree with you. If it's borderline, I like that idea. 1 scale challenge per round, and you go from there. Not round, but per period.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like that a lot. I did not look, and forgive me, Matt, but do you have any news on what's taking place at Lake Martin?
Yeah, there was an 8-13 caught. I need to pull up the standings real quick, but an 8-13 on Lake Martin. The entire field, 150 boats, Mark, and I was trying to remember the last time I remember this happening. 150 boats. Everyone caught a 5-fish limit.
Wow. A lot of spotted bass, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
A ton of spotted bass. Hold on, let me pull up the leaderboard here.
Matt's pulling up the leaderboard.
Baron Adams leading the thing, and it's kind of, this is like another one-day derby deal because he had a 8-13 and he had 17-2, but then like 20th place mark is 12-4 and 65th place is 10-2.
Well, a lot of spotted bass. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like 20 people, like 20 or 30 people all had the same weight or within 2 ounces of each other, like 10 pounds. Like if you caught 10 pounds, dead nuts middle of the field. Our boy, the Birdman, Kurt Dove, 76. They pay the top 75. So dead nuts middle of the field. 9 pounds, 15 ounces, 2 pound spotted bass, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
And dead last limit for 5-3.
There you have
John
it.
Cox keeps rolling.
What do you have?
He's in the top 30 and 24th with 12-2.
All right. See how that plays out. All right. I want to thank everybody once again in these very challenging times to take part of their day. Hopefully, Matt and I can fill your day with a little bit of smiles and humor and hopefully a tad bit of intelligence as we peruse through this very, very unique situation that everybody in the U.S. and really the world that's dealing with right now. So greatly appreciate what everybody's doing, watching us on a Thursday. So let's do this, Matt. Let's hang hang on here. Let's take a break, and then we will come back. And hopefully I've got the system set up to where we can take phone calls. We tested it yesterday.
It worked yesterday.
Yeah, and we'll go from there. So, everybody, the number 405-253-5543. We're going to give some stuff away. I'm going to find some stuff. We'll be back right here on a Thursday. Everybody, stay tuned.
The ultimate fishing system starts with Lowrance HDS Live. Upgrade to HDS Live with a Ghost trolling motor, live sight transducer, or structure scan 3D, and get up to $500 cash back.
Yeah, you care about gear ratios, inches per turn, and ball bearings, but most importantly, you want reliability and dependability in the equipment you use. Luz doesn't cut corners when it comes to the gear they build. The new Speed Spool LFS is the best $99 reel in the market. Go see for yourself.
We've paired one of the most iconic hulls in the history of bass boats with a proven lineup of trusted accessories. We're bringing you best-in-class value and performance, leaving others in your wake. Turnkey value, turnkey performance. The Pantera 2 is an overachiever in the 19-foot category. Once you hit the throttle, you'll feel the rush, and there's no looking back.
Kevin, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just filling in for Billy.
I need a 660 shad crankbaits in the Series 5 model.
We're out.
You're not out. You got all kinds of them right there.
We're out.
Kevin, I need 6.
Have a lollipop.
I do not want a lollipop.
Have a lollipop.
Do you have it in sexy shad color?
At Duckett Fishing, we have assembled the top pros in the country to help us design rods to give you a competitive advantage. Castability, strength, durability, action, sensitivity, weight and balance, and consistency. Combine that with the best warranty in the industry, and you have rods that are pro-driven.
Duckett Fishing, pro-driven.
I want to share to you a new product we got coming out from Sunline. This is the FC leader size spools that we have now. We've gotten a lot of requests for this. A lot of you guys use fluorocarbon for leaders only, myself included. And one of the problems you have is when you have a 200-yard spool, that might last you 2, 3, 4 years. You might even lose it before you even get done with the spool. So we've gone to a little smaller spool. These are 50-yard spool sizes. You know, that way you're not holding your line on forever. You can keep your line fresh, use it when you can, stores real easily in the boat. We got all of our popular line sizes that you're used to with our Sniper from 5 to 14 pound. If you guys are looking for a line that you're only tying for a leader, go check out Sunline FC Leader 100% fluorocarbon and give it a try.
All right, we are back on a Thursday doing 5 shows this week, folks. Matt is live via Skype, and we're going to try and get this Sunline Hotline show. All right, Matt, I've got what I'm going to give away.
What are you giving away?
All right, what I've got here, obviously I've got to include a topwater in whatever I give away. So I got a KVD Sexy Dog right there. Going to give that away. I've got some of the new Sunline Dew Strike.
Is that the chatterbait line?
Yes.
Bladed jig line.
Yes. Two of those.
That's what you put the swim on the back of the bladed jig.
All right. Two of those.
You should give them away. I mean, okay, that's
Oh, I know. That's
smart. That's good stuff.
That's high dollar stuff. 18 pound will really hopefully make somebody happy on that. And then a couple of my favorite spinner baits, 2 Strike King bottom dwellers, 3/4 ounce Love to slow roll those things, and doesn't have the orange kicker on it, but that's what I do. I switch it out.
What are you giving away for?
All right. I told you the best tinkering story.
Oh, one person gets all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like what? That's like, geez, almost 60, 70 bucks?
20. Yeah, that's $70 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
so, 80. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines. As I mentioned, the phone number 405-253-5543. Looking for some really good stories out there. Obviously, if you have a question for Matt or myself, we'll try and answer it as best as we can. We're on no time limit today. We just want to hear from you. This show is all about the fans, and hopefully there are some really, really good stories out there that Matt and I can talk about. Frank in Michigan on the instant feedback, Matt, he says, do you guys think they will cancel the entire remainder of the season due to the restrictions and what cities are doing and everything else that's going on? Absolutely. I mean, there's no way of predicting what's happening. It is one day at a time, literally. It really is. So
no idea. I mean, right now every plan is. I told this to Mark off the air yesterday. I'm putting the replay together, and I said, I try to keep all this stuff in perspective as much as I can. And I said, I hope 3-4 months from now that this stuff is still relevant, that we cared about the cancellations and that we're worried about the rescheduling with tournaments on top of tournaments and not looking back going, dang, remember when we thought it was a big deal that they postponed some tournaments? Yeah. Man, those were the days. I mean, so none of us really know what's going on, but listen, in the grand scheme of things, it's a bass fishing tournament. It just happens to be what we cover professionally. Everyone else is going through it, and possibly this is a good distraction, a good kind of reprise for an hour or two every day.
Yeah, you know what else is going on right now? We talked about events that are taking place, but there is a professional event taking place along with Major League Fishing. Any idea what it is, Matthew?
No.
The Iditarod.
They're still doing well. Yeah, well, no one's within the 6 foot rule. No one's in the 6 mile rule with anyone in the Iditarod.
Yeah. All right, here we're going to go to the phones and see if this works. Hey, who is this? Hey, you're on. Who is this?
This is Daniel from Tennessee.
Daniel from Tennessee. How are you, man? What's on your mind?
Well, you was talking about a good story. Well, my brother-in-law and I, we fish all the local lakes up here, Center Hill Lake and Percy Priest. Mm-hmm. Well, we were going to go night fishing, and figured we'd go to Center Hill. It's been several years ago, back when they had the water real low. And so back then we had a little 17-foot Monarch John boat. And, of course, it's pitch black dark. I've been to that boat ramp 1,000 times. Backed the boat, floated off the trailer, pulled up to the boat ramp, and we went to take off, and we couldn't go anywhere. And we pulled one way, another way. Well, we finally pulled out the spotlight, and we were in a pond. They had dropped the lake so low that it was just a little pond at the base of the boat ramp. And the rest of the lake was on the other side of a gravel bar.
Wow.
Yeah, so needless to say, we spent half the night trying to find a boat ramp and then wound up going to Old Hickory and then got stormed out by a thunderstorm. So, yeah. Yeah,
that's a pretty good one, because I've done that before where you say, hey, I'm going to avoid the crowds. I'm going to put it in the dark. I'm going to run to the boat ramp where the tournament's taken out of. That would basically, Mark, be like putting in at Guy Sandy, and the only place that you could fish is right there at Guy Sandy. You try to go out in between the two buoys, and there is no lake left. You're stuck in there.
That's crazy.
That's a strong contender right there.
Yeah, that was a first time for that. Like I said, I didn't realize that lake could get that low. I mean, Center Hill is a deep lake, but yeah, they dropped that joker big time, and we felt like some of the biggest dummies. We were bouncing off stuff and didn't know what. Like, we didn't have a flashlight. We'd been there a bunch, and weren't really concerned about it. It's a dark boat ramp way back off in the holler. yeah, we pulled the spotlight out, and it was just gravel all the way around. It's just big enough hole for the boat to float in. It was a trip.
That's awesome. That's a great story. All right, you keeping track of these, Matt?
Yeah, I got it. So when I do this, Mark, when I like write down the deal, do I pause or something, or am I still good?
No, you're still good.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I got it in Notepad. I got Daniel from Tennessee who put it in a pond instead of the lake that he thought he was on in Settle Hill.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one might be a strong contender for the. But I mean, if you fish up there though, do you use a spinning rod?
Yeah. Well, I use both. I'm not a big light line guy. I catch them even on 10 and 12 pound, but there's a lot of guys that they'll fish 4, 6, and 8, and sometimes it's an issue. But I mean, it's not like super gin clear. It's always has some color to it, and they brought it back up to normal pool now. So the forest that was on dry land is now a forest underwater. So the fishing this year should be exceptional. I mean, it should be really good.
Very cool. All right, man.
Good
Thanks for calling, man.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, see you. All right.
Bye.
Hopefully this is going to work here, Matthew. Let's see. Okay,
We're 1 for 1.
Yeah. I know there were people calling in when we had that call going on. So if you're calling in and we're on a call, just hold tight. I guarantee you we will get to you as best as we can. So
you know what? You need one of your interns to come in and run the call-in shows once everything gets back to normal there, Mark.
Yeah, that would be
going
nice.
into next year.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had
a Bass Zone intern for a while.
I know, but I'm glad that it just works. I was a little.
And having been a Bass Zone intern, I can 100% confirm that it won't cost you anything additional to get another intern, Mark. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Remember, folks, I am looking for the best tinkering story. All right, let's see if it works again here. Let's see here. All right, who is this? No, they hung up. That one hung up, Matt. Oh, well.
1 for 2.
I tried.
We're batting 500 right now.
Yeah, that one hung up. I don't know what happened on that. They just hung up right at the last minute. All
so
right.
What? We got the best tinkering story and then the best sketchy boat run story. Because we were talking about Jason Christie, Brad Hallman, talking about some of their sketchy runs.
Yeah. Have you ever done that though, Matt, where you're tinkering around with something and you're trying to modify something and you look at it and you go, man, that's not going to catch squat. And then you go out and you actually catch something with it. I mean, my story on that.
Ruined the lure.
An old Storm Thunderstick that I painted that looked just absolutely obnoxious. And I looked at it and I thought, man, there's no way this thing's going to catch fish. Went to Texoma and ended up catching like 10 pounds. It was pretty cool. All right,
10 pounds?
10
pounds.
Really
worked for you.
Well, it was a grind, dude. It took like 12 to win.
Was that back during the virus days?
No.
In the late 90s?
Yeah, it took 12 to win that one. This was like 30 years ago. All right, here, let's try going to the phones again. Hey, who is this? You are on. Who is this? Yes? No? Come on.
How'd you do it the first time?
I just clicked the button, man. Are you on? No, I guess not. Dude, I'm doing the same thing. I'm pressing the same button. I don't know. We'll keep going here.
All I know is right now Daniel's going to clean house on the prize category if you don't get this figured out.
I know. All right, let's see here. I'm trying.
I was on Travis Manson's Smallmouth Crush After Hours last night.
Yeah.
It took him about 10 minutes to figure out how to three-way in with Epic Eric. That was pretty funny, though. It was on for like an hour and a half till like 11 o'clock at night.
All right. Are you there? Who is on the call right now? Who is this? Dude, I can see them on the call.
Is their volume turned up?
Yeah.
How'd you do it the first time?
Wow.
How'd you do it when we tested it?
Dude, I just pressed the button. I can see him on the call right now.
You would be reaming me out
I
so
would
bad.
not.
You knew we were doing a Sunline Hotline show.
No.
You knew it.
No. All right, let me see. It says merge. Merge call from there. Okay, so I press that. Are you there?
Oh, do we hear someone?
I thought. Answer call. Okay. Merge call. Right there. I'm really trying, folks. Wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. The first one worked awesome. What is going on here?
I'm just waiting. Oh, here we go.
You called me back, Mark.
Oh, I did? Oh. Who is this?
This is Daniel. You're calling me back.
Jeez. Okay. All right, let me
Dan, you would not have believed our first caller. He put his boat in at Center Lake. I know, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of funny.
Oh, wow. I'm watching it, and then my phone rings. I'm like, surely not. And it's y'all.
Right here.
We're having some technological issues.
No, here.
Right now.
I got him removed from call now. All right, let's see if this works.
Is someone on there?
Is somebody on here? Hello.
No, I mean, like, is there someone calling in?
Yes. I'm trying.
Are you sure?
Yeah, not anymore. Okay. I still got this one call on there. Let me see here. Sorry, folks.
I'm giving you a I'm giving you a D- on product knowledge.
Jeez, we were 1 for 1 there. I had it dialed in on one call. Press the button. I'm really trying. You know, it's a good thing we're not on a time restriction here. For some reason, Daniel's phone call is still in there. And I don't know why. And I can't figure out how to get it removed. But I'm trying, folks. I really am.
Can you drop me and just reopen up Skype?
No, hang on here. It's still, I still have that one call in there. And it shouldn't be in there. And that's what the problem is. Daniel might be the big winner.
One of the tails in this package was crooked, and it was driving me nuts. Look, now they're all straight. Will you throw a bait with the crooked tail, Mark? I feel like you don't really care.
I don't care. No, I could care less.
If it's got a little bit of a limp in it or a hitch in the tail.
Yeah. All right, stand by. Let me see if this works. Hey, who is this?
What's up, Mark? This is Hunter Kenway.
Hunter, all right, hang on. Let me see if I can get Matt back in here. Let's see if I can do this.
Okay.
All right, Matt, are you there? Matt.
Hello.
Who is this? Now I got 2 calls. Who is this?
Can you hear me?
Oh, dang.
Hunter. Hunter is there. And who else do I have on here?
Cole Ritter.
Cole. Okay, I have 2
Cole
calls.
Ritter in Indianapolis.
I have 2 calls on at one time, and I have no idea how I did that. All right, hang on one second, guys. I got Hunter and Cole, correct?
Correct.
Cole, can you hear Hunter?
Yes, I can.
I can hear him too.
All right, let's do this. Let's just let's run with it. Hunter, you go first. Where are you calling from, Hunter?
Georgia. I don't know if you remember me, Hunter Kenway. I was on your show a while back in PFL Angler.
Oh yeah. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Nothing. I was just calling in. I actually had some kind of funny stories I wanted to tell you guys.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, so this happened back when I was in my first Bassmaster Open as a co-angler. I was about 16. First day of the Bassmaster Open, I got with Bill Weiler. As you may know, he's in the Elite Series now. Well, that day, very nervous. First time, I was like 16. Zeroed that first day. So we were at Seminole. Second day, I get in with Sam George. Okay, Sam George now, he's on the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. So I'm with him. I'm a co-angler. I'm in the back of his boat. We ain't catching hardly anything all day. I think it's about like 2 o'clock or 3, sometime around there, around 2 o'clock. And I ain't got anything. So I'm swinging for the fences at that point, trying to catch some fish. So we're idling through this stump field. I'm throwing a square bill. I hang one. My rod flies out of my hand, right? I think it's a big one. Flies out of my hand, hits the water, rod's sinking. And at that moment, I'm sitting there thinking, what do I got to do now? So I got my phone in my pocket, my wallet, and everything else. And I'm in a Bassmaster Open. I'm not even supposed to leave the boat or anything. I jump out of the boat, land in the water, grab this rod. I'm swimming for my life, probably about to drown, because I'm soaked in water. I had boots on at the time. Sam George is freaking out. He's looking at me like, what the heck's going on? I got this fish on the line, thinking it's a giant one because it done took the rod out of my hand the way how hard it hit it. I jump in the boat. We're going crazy, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm soaking wet. I'm in the front of his boat fighting this fish, and I get it up to the boat, and what do you know? I foul hooked it.
Oh,
Dang thing wasn't but maybe 10 inches. We're going crazy.
That's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
That is, and I'm going to pass that one on to Matt. That one's pretty good, Hunter. Very, very good.
It really was.
All right, Cole, what do you got?
Well, I'm a yak guy, so don't really do many crazy runs or anything. But one of my more interesting days was I was out fishing a strip pit down in southeast Indiana and was frog fishing. I found this little cut where I cast back into and had a bass blow up on my frog. I start cranking it in, and as I did that, we call it a sleigh ride, started to go back towards the bass. My kayak did. Hits a tree. The tree was about, 4 inches in diameter. It breaks, falls, hits me on the shoulder, and lands between 3 of my rods in the back of my kayak.
Oh, geez.
So ended up finally getting the bass in, or trying to get the bass in, pull all the grass off of it. Nothing there.
Oh.
But lost a couple of rod tips in the process, but oh well.
How big was it?
Didn't get hurt.
How big was a tree?
It was about 4 inches in diameter, maybe 10 feet tall, something like that.
Jeez.
So,
man,
a little bit of an interesting day.
All right, where are you calling from, Cole?
Indianapolis.
Okay, from Indy. All right, guys, go ahead and hang up. I'm going to try and get Matt back on here. I appreciate you being patient, and hopefully here very quickly I can get this figured out. All right, appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, see ya. All right, let's see. That's gone. That's gone. Let's try calling Matt again. Let's see if I got this thing figured out. Okay, I got you back. I just had 2 really good stories, dude. I had 2 callers on at one time.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
You have this thing figured out yet?
I don't know. Here, we're going to try this now. Somebody else is calling in. Let's see here. Hey, who is this? Hey, who is this?
I got you back.
All right.
2 really good stories, dude. I had 2 callers on at one time.
I can hear his radio.
Yeah, who is this? Who is this?
Oh, we got someone.
You got somebody. It's Slay Nation Frankie.
Oh, what's up, Frank? How are you doing?
I'm good. What's up, Matt and Mark?
This is Frank. You run how many leagues you got now? Like 18 divisions of mini boat leagues across the country where it's like kayak, canoe, mini boat, and it's all part of the Slay Nation, right?
Yeah, we have 27 trails right now for 2020. That includes 2 in Canada.
20, yeah, you ain't going up there to those trails anytime soon, though.
No.
27 now. Congratulations. I remember when you were just getting that thing started.
That's right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, very cool. I think I have this figured out now. So what you got, man?
So I'll share a story, right? Now, this is a true story, not making it up. I was going to share a tinkering story, but as I'm listening to your callers, I was like, oh, I got a story I got to share. So this goes back a few years, fishing with my brother-in-law, and we're at one of our honey holes, fishing off a canoe. And it got to the point in the day, we're not catching many fish, so he starts messing around. He's taking crazy spinner baits out of his tackle box, putting, ridiculously colored trailers on it. And, he makes a cast. It gets hung up in a tree about 40 feet in the air. So his line is hanging off the tree limb. And at the same time, he had to go to the bathroom, right? He had to take a pee-pee. And so as he's peeing off the side of the canoe, he feels a tug on the rod, and he's like, what the hell? So he sets the hook. As he grabs his pole, his pants drop to his ankles, so he's got his butt cheeks hanging out. He hooks into an 18-inch rainbow trout, and he continues to fight it. Now, the limb doesn't snap, so he's reeling this trout up all the way up to 40 feet to the top of this limb. And while he's doing this, no lie, he's still going to the bathroom. So I'm trying not to fall out of the boat because I'm laughing so hard. And so he lands an 18-inch rainbow on a ridiculously setup. And then he pulls his pants back up. Then we end up taking a picture. So I said, Vin, that was the craziest catch I've ever been a part of, man.
Gee,
that's a good one. I got you down, the rainbow in the tree. So the lure was dangling over. It was a rainbow cast that resulted in catching a rainbow trout.
It was exactly. That's right. All about the rainbows, man.
I'm just saying, you don't get it that high in the tree unless you're Hail Marying it.
It was like an ounce spinner bait, and he had a really light spin cast setup, and so he just looped it, and he said, "Oh, what the heck?" It looked like a McDonald's sign.
Wow. Where are you Frank? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Connecticut.
Okay.
Okay, right. Love you guys. Always listen to your stuff. Love you guys.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Easy.
All right. Hopefully,
this is the moment of truth.
I know.
Mark.
Hopefully, Frank will hang up. Did you hang up, Frank?
Oh, sorry. Let me hang up. Sorry.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. See ya. All right. Yeah, he's gone now. So let's see. The next person that calls in, let's see if I can do it again.
We didn't lose everybody during the 10-minute hiatus, or you had two people on at once?
Yeah. Let's see here. Cole had a tree falling on him while he was in a kayak. Pretty funny story. All he did was break a couple of rod tips, and he lost the fish that he had on when
like he was fishing and then a tree fell.
Yeah. All
okay.
Right. Here,
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. Let's see if this works here.
When it works, I get a little bitty like telephone logo thing in the corner of my screen.
Yeah. All right. Hang on here. Let me get this screen over. Nope, didn't work. Call. Yeah, for some reason, when we have a call in there, or when we have a caller, it keeps that call in there, even though that caller has hung up, which doesn't make any sense.
Is that in case you want to call them back or something like that?
Yeah.
So you have to like clear it out?
Yeah, and I can't figure out how to clear it out. I'm trying. So... Okay, let's see here. Answering this call will place your current call on hold, and you can merge calls. All right, stand by, man. Hey, who is this?
Hey, this is Jason Wilson in Alabama.
Jason, all right, hang on 1 second. I'm going to try and get Matt back. If I can't get Matt, then we're just it's just going to be me and you.
Okay.
All right, you there, Matt? Matt.
Hello.
Okay, I've got 2 calls on here once again. Wow, that is too weird. All right, who do I have on here first?
Jason Wilson from Alabama. We met at the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, yeah.
I moved from Arizona.
Yeah. All right, what's on your mind, Jason?
I just had a story. It probably doesn't count as like a rough run, but when I was like in high school, me and my uncle went to a little lake in Corinth, Kentucky, bluegill fishing. And we went out there and we were just sitting in the middle of the lake and a thunderstorm rolled in. And it was one of the nastiest thunderstorms I probably have ever seen on the water. And my uncle's like, hey, do you want to stay? And I'm like, well, we're already wet. We might as well stay. And he was like, oh, if you're sure we're going to stay. Well, then lightning started, and it was like, uh-oh, we got to get out of here.
Not good.
And all he had was a little John boat with a 9.9 on the back, and we were, like I said, in the middle of this lake. So he's trying to run all the way back to the launch ramp and get us out of the storm. Well, by the time we get to the launch ramp, the rain had stopped, the thunder had gone, and he's like, well, now what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I guess we just continue fishing.
Oh, geez. What ended up happening?
We stayed and landed probably 40 or 50 large bluegill.
Oh, jeez.
Like about a pound a piece. We were fishing with minnows for bluegill. So yeah.
Wow. All right, man. Well, I will make sure that Matt gets that. That's pretty cool. That's man, you don't want to mess around with that stuff though, at all.
No, it was crazy.
All right. Well, stay safe, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I'll listen to it for a while.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Who else do I have on the line?
Hey, Mark. You've got Keith from Kentucky.
Keith, how are you, man? What's on your mind?
I'm doing great. Well, I'm going to combine your 2 competitions in my story I'm going to tell you.
I'm good with that.
All right. Probably the second. I'm from down on Kentucky Lake. Probably the second BFL I ever fished in. I fished boater side. If you've ever been to Kentucky Dam Marina, they had us going out underneath the bridge on the inside of the break wall as opposed to the main opening. So it's March, it's low water, and, a rookie move I made, I trimmed down too quickly. And when I took off, I banged the riprap on the bottom of the lake when I took off. Well, it's a pretty windy day, but I'm crossing the lake. I can feel a pretty good vibration, and I'm thinking that's not good. So to make matters worse, I get over to Barkley, and I decide I'm going to cross over Barkley down by the dam through the dredge line they got that goes across through there. And sure enough, it's very narrow. I'm going across through there. Same morning, bam, I hit the bottom with my motor as I'm going across through there. Finally get across, trim up, and I've knocked the ear off my prop, which I'm like, what a boneheaded move. But I'm going to go ahead and fish. So I'm fishing and I'm throwing my classic shad wrap I love to throw, but I weight mine. This is my tinkering story. I always weight my shad wrap so that they'll just suspend when I stop moving them. Guy in the back of the boat with me, great guy, throwing a shad wrap that's not weighted. I've got a limit. Everything is going great. He's just staring, going, why can't I catch a fish? So I feel sorry for him. I'm like, look, let me give you one of mine. It'll make a difference. He ends up finishing out a limit. I come in, and I had 16 and a half pounds. As it turns out, it only took 18 and a half to win that day. I had to weigh in one that was about 2.5. He weighed in 2 that one was 4 and one was 5 after I gave him a lure. And I got to doing the math. I'm like, okay, dummy, you lost the tournament because you gave away a lure. But he was such a nice guy, I couldn't help it. But boy, did it make a difference that day. Because I told him, I said, if you'll just pause it, they'll hit it when you pause it.
Yeah.
Sure enough. I mean, he had a ball. He couldn't believe he caught a limit. He comes in 5th. I came in 7th. He said it's the most money he's ever won in a tournament, and he still calls me and tells me how much he appreciates it. So
wow.
There's my dumb move as far as a bad move with the boat. I won, I don't know, I think I won $800 or $900, but it cost me $750 for a new prop, so I didn't even pay for my gas. And he came in 5th and still enjoys the memory. So love your all show, and thanks for taking the call.
All right, real quick, I got a follow-up question. How far were you from the takeoff when this happened? Where
I caught my fish, you mean?
Yeah.
I I think I broke the prop at the takeoff. When I took off and I trimmed down too quickly going under that bridge, I think I hit the gravel on the bottom and chipped it off. I think when I crossed Barkley and hit bottom again, that was just God reminding me how stupid I was that morning. But I lived through it anyway. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything dangerous. It's a very narrow area that you have to pass through crossing the lake down there, and I just misjudged it by a few feet. It's just a muddy, gravelly bottom, nothing dangerous. But anyway, it turned out good. I mean, for it to be such a bad start to the day, it finished up strong because we caught a lot of fish. But it made a huge difference that day. My shed raft was just like his, except I had mine weighted. When I paused it, I would get hit, and he just couldn't do that. But the reason I don't mind telling that story, I don't think I've caught a bass on Kentucky Lake on a shed raft in 3 years. So it's not like I'm giving up any great secret. But it worked well back in the early 2000s, I'll tell you that.
All right, very nice, man. Thanks for calling.
Have a great day.
All right, see ya. All right, I'm going to try and get Matt back here. Jeez. Oh, folks, this is so frustrating because Matt and I worked on this to test it out, and everything worked great yesterday. But today, obviously not. So let's see if I can get Matt back here. And then we'll give it another go. We might have to take a break and come back. Let's see if I got Matt back. All right, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm trying. The calls keep coming in. I just got 2 really good stories.
I'll have to go back and watch the show since I have not been able to see the show today, Mark.
Yeah. See, there's this button right here. It says merge call into current active call.
Yeah.
Okay. So I click on that button. And let's see what we got. Who do we have? Hey, who is this?
This is Vicky from Batavia.
Vicky.
Ohio.
All right. Can you hear Matt?
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt?
I got you.
Yeah, I can hear Matt.
Oh, very nice. It actually worked. Now, when we get done with you, we'll see if it continues to work.
Me off and then take more calls and then call me back. It's yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you got today, Vicky?
Okay, I got a funny story. If it would have been on film, I would have sent it to the America's Funniest Videos. It has to do with stumps and trees in our local lake. My husband and I were fishing, and I cast out, and we were right by a tree in the middle of the water. My husband kept going, didn't realize it, and I thought I'd reach around the tree, grab my pole so I didn't have to reel it in real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I did that, I was pushing away from the boat, so I was losing my balance, so I grabbed the tree and bear hugged it, and my husband took off in the boat, and I'm hanging on the tree with my pole. And there was a young couple that were fishing a little ways away, they were watching, cracking up. And so I've been hanging on, and my husband comes back and picks me up, and it was something stupid, but anyway, that was my funny story.
That's
a good
pretty
one. So
funny.
How far did he troll past the tree that you were stuck to before he noticed, or did you start hollering?
Well, I said help right away, and he turned around and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to get my pole around the tree." And so he has to turn around to come and get me, and there's tree stumps and trees around and stuff. So I was probably there a couple minutes, but anyway, it was a funny story. I thought you'd enjoy it.
I like it.
We've all done that, where you're going past the tree, and instead of reel it in, you just reach out, you put your pole around that tree.
I like it.
But don't do it because you'll end up hugging the tree.
And you didn't get wet at all, like you didn't fall in at all. You just bear hugged the tree, and he picked you back up, and you just kept right on fishing.
That's right. Yep.
That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. All right, Vicky.
Well, thank you. I enjoy your show, and my husband does too. So thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thanks. All right. Do I have to go away for the next 2 calls now?
No, I hit a button. Let's see if it worked, and it doesn't look like it worked.
Yeah, I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
No. Hang on. I'm gonna work through this. It says remove from call, and that's what I did. So, I think she's gone. Vicky, she's not there.
Okay.
No. All right. So let me hit.
So now you should be able to just do the same thing.
I should. The next call we get, let's see.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Let's see here. I'm still working on stuff. No, that will call back. All right. I need a call to see if it'll work.
What were the stories of the ones I missed? Good stuff.
One guy at Kentucky Lake, Keith, he threw an ear off his prop and he ran into the riprap and yeah. Anyway, he ended up finishing like 7th and and then his non-boater ended up finishing like 4th, and it was the best that he had ever finished in a tournament. And he said the guy even calls him now and says, "Hey man, thank you so much for giving me the bait and all that." He weighted his shad wraps to where they would suspend.
Fancy.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this, Matt. Let's take a break, and then I'm going to see if I can figure this out. I once again, I don't know. For some reason, the call wants to remain on the call, and then when I go to add another call, it won't let me. So we're going to take another break and come back and for sure take more phone calls here on a Thursday. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Tank, our experts match you with the right electronics, provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
Blue Water by TH Marine. Offering LED lighting solutions for your boat, trailer, truck, ATV, and so much more. Engineered and built to be rugged with waterproof and submersible options. Designed for easy installation, Blue Water is available in a variety of colors and styles. All backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Blue Water by TH Marine.
The name SPRO says it all. SPRO stands for Sports Professionals. When you look at the pro staff that SPRO has brought on board over the past 15 years, it's been pretty incredible. I mean, one got it just then. From the development of the rock crawler to the McStick, from the Fat Popper to the Little John series, when you tie a SPRO bait on, you know it's been designed by a professional to get the job done. While I travel the country on the Bassmaster Elite Series, I simply can't let the weather be the reason I don't win $100,000. That's why I use AFCO clothing to keep me warm, dry, and protected from whatever Mother Nature wants to throw at me. My season depends on it. My career depends on it. AFCO, any fish, any water.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks. Why? Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get.
It's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
The Big Bite Baits Kamikaze Swim On is a very unique bait, and it's got a full body but with ribs to give it a bigger profile but not more plastic. It's got a jointed tail that gives it a lot of action, as well as this up and down crawl type trail with holes and ribs in it, so it creates a bubble trail almost. This bait is supposed to be fished upside down or vertical like this on a grate for a chatterbait. I prefer it on a swim jig as well, but you can also cut it down and put it on the back of a finesse jig. You know, flip it around for some spotted bass or flipping docks. Anytime you want a small, compact, you know, little trailer for it, this is great for it. So check out the full lineup of swim-ons at bigbitebaits.com.
Yo.
All right, we are back. Man, this is irritating. All right, I think I've got a system figured out here, though. Let's just kind of run with it. Hey, man, it's the first time that we tried this whole telecommuting thing, trying to have Matt and take phone calls is just...
tried it a little harder.
Oh, you're ripping me a new one?
I'm just, if the shoe was on the other foot,
Dude,
Jeffries,
I have mellowed out a bunch, and it was like...
I'm just saying.
It was like that we did test this. Did we not?
No, apparently not good enough.
But we did test it. It's just not working, and I don't understand because I should be able to click that right there, and it doesn't work. So here, let's try and take another call and see if it works here. Good grief. Hey, who is it? Who is this?
This is Dennis.
Dennis, where are you calling from, man?
I'm calling from Tulsa.
Nice.
Right here in our home state, man. What you got today?
I was wanting to share a story.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Okay. Back a long time ago, when I was young, my mother bought me a TR7 fish call that was for Christmas. Sears used to sell them. It was kind of like the early attracting type devices that
like a hydrowave.
And, yeah, like a hydrowave.
Wait, what was
the
name of it again? Say
it was called. Yeah, you can find them online. It's a TR7 fish call.
Okay.
And you put batteries in it, and it was clear, and you weighted it. They even had little flavor pellets you put in there, and it was perforated, and it was weighted, and it went down, and you lowered it down on a wire and turned up the clicking volume on it, and I tried to attract in fish. Well, me and my brother went to the Lake Schaefer. My dad pulled us there, pulled the boat because I bought a boat before I had a car. So I was 15 and we took the boat out, me and my brother at night, and it was real clear. We had set up, we put the TR7 fish call down, and we're out there looking at the stars and the sky and everything. And we got to talking about aliens. Back then in the 70s, that was a popular thing. And yeah, so we're kind of freaking each other out with weird stories and looking up at the stars and everything. And in time passed, we didn't really catch anything. We were out there most of the night, just soaking worms, and wound up firing up the tiller as a little Applebee trowel with a 60 Evinrude on it. And I fired it up, and we started running. It's still dark, and then we saw a light. This thing had a light in it, and it was way back there behind us. It was following the boat, And everywhere we went, we'd turn, it'd follow us, and that's after we did all the UFO talking, you know. And this thing, I ran up on sandbars. I was doing everything to get away with this light, and then it finally dawned on me what it was, the thing I left down below the boat, clicking with a light on.
That TR7 fish caller.
Oh, geez.
The TR7 fish call. Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Funny.
Me and my brother, we fish bass fish around and everything, and we still talk about that. And it's so funny.
Dave, Dennis? What's your favorite place to fish around the Tulsa area? I live up here now, so if you had to pick one lake within an hour and a half drive.
Well, I'm a Skytook person because I live in Collinsville, really, and I'm working in Tulsa today. So yeah, I like to go to Skytook. And I do pretty good there. So
that's cool color water Sky took.
Yeah. Arbuckle's my favorite lake, though. I mean, that's where I've caught the big ones.
Yeah, you and Jeffries. Jeffries is a big Arbuckle guy. We're fixing to have a match on Arbuckle here in the next month
we are.
or two, depending on how.
Yeah. I tried to send you an email for Matt on Bass Zone, and I couldn't get it. I don't know that it went through, but I have a hack too. If you got a real quick one, time here, I can tell you. I buy fingernail polish from the Walmart in Skytook, and I painted up some crankbaits. It's a real bright orange, and one of them was a Excalibur lipless crankbait. And I go over to Oologah, and I start fishing, and I caught an 8-pound walleye on that thing, yo-yoing. And
out of
it was
Oologah.
on Good Friday. Yes. And the same day, I decided to go over to, because fish were biting pretty well on that full moon on Good Friday, I decided to go to Skytook, and I went there, and I went to Black Dog and launched, and I started yo-yoing there, and I caught 2 huge smallmouth out of that same bait, painted up with that same color fingernail polish from Walmart. And so then I took it last year to Arbuckle and painted a wigglewort with that same color, and I wound up catching an 8.7 on that same colored fingernail polished up wigglewort. And so yeah, I don't know if if your wife's or girlfriend uses fingernail polish, but I can tell you there's a good color at Walmart for the season right now.
I'll have to
orange
go,
color.
I'll have to go pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis.
All right.
Appreciate it,
well,
man.
I enjoy y'all's show so much. I enjoy it so much.
Thank you. All right, here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try this, Matt. Okay, there.
I think he might have caught the lake record out of Oologah.
Really?
Because in 2016, it was 6.5 pounds. I'm reading this art, Kelly Bostain. I like how he does a heck of a job for the Tulsa World in the outdoor section there, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm reading about it. Now, this is 3-4 years ago, so I'm sure it's bigger. But yeah, he said Oologah has a lot of walleye in it. Is it Oologah or Oologah?
Some people say Oologah. I think
I'm like 20 minutes from there. I can be on the water in 25 minutes from the house.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of people say Oologah.
Kelly, in this article, yes, it has walleye, lots of them, and some really nice ones. The thing are, most folks aren't interested in catching them or don't know. They're better eating than crappie, yeah. Well, heck, I need to go out there and catch some walleye.
Wow. Interesting. All right, stand by, and then we will take another call here.
All right.
I'm going to turn you down. I think I got a little system here that we will try and see if it works. By the way, not a whole lot of people with questions, which I guess that's a good thing. Love hearing the stories. Stories are fabulous, and some really good ones so far here. All right, you back, man?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can bring in another call here.
Yeah.
Hey, who is this? Who is this?
Strike one.
I got the number right there. They're just not saying anything. Hello.
No, I never heard that call like click in.
Did you get a little icon?
No.
No icon?
No.
Okay. Well.
It's a disaster. Let's just call it
no,
what it
it's
is.
not. It is an experiment. How many times have we tried to do this? That would be 0. 0.
Okay.
All right. So, hang on a second. Let me see here. Hang on one second here. Good grief. Folks, bear with this. I know you guys out there are experiencing an enormous amount of patience with us, and we greatly appreciate it. All right. You there, man?
Yeah.
All right. Let's try this now. Hey, who do we have? Who's on
This is Jeff in Colorado.
Jeff in Colorado?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. What's going on? What's on your mind?
I got a tinkering story for you.
Very nice.
So a guy that I work with, he came into work and he brought this worm. He said, "You think you can catch fish on this worm? I got a worm." I said, "Yeah, go ahead, bring it in." So he brings this thing in, and it's a toy worm. It's a rubber stretchy worm that he got from like Party City here in Colorado. And so I took it into the lake, and I put like a 1/4 ounce bullet weight on there and a little offset 1/0 hook, and start to whack fish on this toy China worm. And I took the pictures and I went back to the guy. I said, "Look at this." I said, "I told you I could catch fish on that worm." So now we call this thing the China worm. I bought a bag of like 50 of them for like $2.
What color was it?
It's like almost an earthworm red. It's a goofy color. It's like a root beer, I guess you would call it in the bass world.
Is it straight?
It's a straight worm, and it floats better than any floating worm I ever had. The problem is if you put it next to other baits in your box, it destroys them. It eats up everything.
Interesting. Now,
but it's not it has nothing to do with fishing. It's literally like a joke, like, oh look, here's a fake worm that you get at like Party City.
That's right, a toy worm.
Does this stay on the hook good? And then how do you? I got a bunch of questions about this now. Then how do you? How's the hookup ratio on it? Because I'd imagine, I mean, it's probably not that soft.
Hookup ratio is terrible. You gotta you gotta cross their eyes, dude.
Just because of the material?
Oh yeah, it's like the material is like toxic, man. It'll eat your tackle box. But if you keep it in a Ziploc bag, they're the greatest China worm out there.
How long?
Well, how many fish
how long
on this thing now?
Yeah, how long was it?
They're about a 6-7 inch worm. I can send you guys a couple.
As long as it's not a hazardous material, yeah.
No, dude. I wouldn't. No, that's bad. Matt Pangak. I'll send Matt a message on my Instagram.
Yep.
And get a mailing address from him.
That'll work.
All right, sounds good.
We'll look forward to the Party City worms.
I got one more comment for you guys. Food for thought. So I don't know if I got time for this. Do I?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Have at it.
Okay, so we're talking about growing the sport. I'm not, but on the TV they're talking about growing the sport, MLF, all this. And I had something that I haven't heard you guys talk about considering. And part of that is bowling pins. Jeffries is out there smashing the pins and having a good time. And no one has a problem with Jeffries destroying pins. When these guys are swinging fish in boats and slamming hooks in their face, there's some sensitivity going on in the world. But not everybody is going to love this sport because of these poor fish. And I don't know if you guys have ever talked about that. Now, I love fishing, and I like setting a hook, and I let them go. I don't eat them. But that's something I never heard you guys consider when we're talking about growing the sport and the sensitivity of everybody else that watches sports.
Matt, you want to go first on that?
Yeah, 100%. I've mentioned it a couple times, and I don't know if I've ever talked about it on air, but I do believe that the element of relying on another living thing for sport, for fun, it does create a ceiling, I believe, in some aspects, even if you can have the studies that show that, the fish feel the pressure, that they don't feel pain. And, when they're jumping, they're not scared. It's a reaction, just like when they get a bluegill caught in their throat, they're actually easier to toss that thing with the dorsal fin stuck in the roof of their mouth. I mean, it's no different than, eating a bluegill with the dorsal fin. But perception and ceiling with the fact that you are catching another a living creature and then using it as sport, like for money earnings and entertainment, regardless of the health of the fish that we're taking and the conservation aspects that, Ray Scott started to implement and then has been carried through with the bass conservation. We'll have Gene Gilliland on, but it's a very good point. And I personally do believe that there's a ceiling there. As far as mainstream.
Exactly. And you love your lakes. You're not going to give up your holes. You're not going to give up your trade secrets. A lot of guys aren't giving up all the goods. And so we hold back on your sport.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And then it's also, does a professional angler have an obligation to the fans, I guess, to the viewers, to the sport, to be informative, to give up his secrets to help other people catch fish? Or is a professional angler supposed to keep all that stuff close to the vest because they've spent the decades to learn it and they're using that to feed their family, and the reason that they're have those secrets is because they've put in the time, and it's not their responsibility to share it with someone who only fishes once or twice a year? I mean, there's two trains of thought there. There's, hey, you're sponsored by companies who help you catch more fish. You're in a position to where you can help other people catch fish, so you have that obligation, as opposed to, dude, you're a competitor in a professional sport. Hell no, you're not going to give up your trade secrets. That's what allowed you to get to this level, and if other people want that, they have to go out and earn it.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
And I agree. I mean, I wouldn't give up my trade secrets if I was. If everybody can learn it. But I've heard you guys talk about on the show, where is it a learned thing or is it just a gift from God per se?
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Now, I will say, you look at the PBR and the NFR and what Rodeo's done and stuff, and they are kind of in the same. I put them kind of in the same category where, as far as they have to be sensitive with that, with steers and bulls and horses and calves and things like that too, where I think they also hit a ceiling. But I mean, look at how mainstream the PBR has gotten, and that's, they're putting a rope around the back of a bull, and he's bucking, trying to get the person off of the back. And I mean, it's fairly mainstream. It's gotten a lot more mainstream than the fishing has, but it also involves another living creature.
Exactly, but not too many people are trying to go out there and rope something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
all right.
I appreciate you guys. I listen to you every single day almost, but I listen to the reruns. I've been doing it for a year or so now.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate you guys. And I'll send Pangrac the China worm. Send me an address. I'll send you a ding on Instagram, and I'll send you guys some worms.
Very nice.
That'll work. And I'm going to keep them away from all the other plastics and tackle boxes.
Amen.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you. What do you think, Mark? You think that Mark, do you think that professional anglers have an obligation to share trade secrets, or is that is it a competition thing where it's like, they don't have an obligation to share any of it, and it's just them trying to make money through fishing?
It's a weird dynamic because so many of these guys get compensated to do what? Promote the tools and tactics that they use to catch fish. So, it's a valid point, but at the same time, these guys are driven through a promotional aspect to be able to promote the products that they're being compensated to use. So very interesting.
I mean, let me ask you this. Ott DeFoe catches them, DT10, color that doesn't come out till ICAST, obviously a Rapala sponsored angler, right?
Yeah.
Does he catch those same fish on a 5XD or a Series 4?
Maybe.
Does he catch those same fish on a, any other kind of crankbait, or is it just, hey, I'm telling you guys because this DT10 is the only bait that they would eat?
Maybe. There's been arguments of which they say no. I mean, how many times have you had a co-angler in your boat where you're throwing a particular crankbait and you're absolutely wearing him out, and he's throwing just a slightly different crankbait and he can't get bit in an aquarium?
Yeah, Mark, I don't know if you followed my minor league career around Oklahoma, but it's usually the opposite.
Well, I thought I'd give you the benefit of the doubt. Hey, real quick, and then we're going to go through the process to take another call. Our good friend Glenn Cunningham, this was like 20 years ago.
Yep.
He had a bunch of, have you ever seen these gummy worms, sour gummy worms? With the salt or sugar or whatever it is.
Yep.
He said $5 that I can catch a schooling fish on a gummy worm.
I guarantee it took him like 2 casts.
Yeah, like 1 cast. He threw it out there and he caught like a 4-pounder on a gummy worm. Do you think he could Carolina rig those things and catch fish?
Oh, yeah. You catch him on a trick worm or a centipede. You catch him on that.
I mean, why not sugar instead of salt? You ever thought about that? Salt on a bait, is that kind of a lost thing?
No, I don't know how effective it is. I mean, it obviously helps protect the bait too, but I mean, you're more likely to find salt in nature. I think it's because there's salt and stuff in blood.
Yeah.
But there's not that much sugar.
Oh, believe me, a lot of blood has a lot of sugar in it. It's called diabetes.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
I know. All right, here I'm.
Like I said, you could have the salt versus unsalted, debate for till the end of time.
I
think it's more.
Hey, that's an idea on down the road. Whenever really, folks. I'm telling you right now, if you go out and you catch a fish on something unusual, be it a sour gummy worm with sugar on top, send me a picture of that. I want to see people catching fish with unusual stuff. How about that, Matthew?
That'll work.
All right, I'm going to turn you down, and then hopefully we can take another phone call. Hang on a minute here. All right, once again, folks, we are working through some unique circumstances here, but we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna continue to take phone calls because this thing does not happen if it's not for the fans. So we love hearing these stories. We love hearing from the fans. We've received just a tremendous amount of feedback via email and messages and everything. All right, you there, Matt?
Yep, I got you.
All right, let's see if we could take another call here. All right, who is this? Hello, you there? Matt, you got the little icon? I know somebody's there.
I don't have the icon.
You do not have the icon.
Oh yeah, I do. I have a. I got a 405 area.
Yeah, me too. And this is like the 3rd time that he's called. Are you there, man? I guess he doesn't want to talk. Either that or he's getting really, really frustrated. All right, let me turn you down a minute here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Man, the phone's just ringing off the wall. It works a lot better, obviously, when Matt is in studio. But in these times, we're trying to do everything we can to make it easier for Matt and to hear from the fans. All right, let's see if this works now, Matt. Hang on here. Hey, who is this?
Hey, this is Don from Illinois.
Don from Illinois. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. What's on your mind? Matt, you got him?
We all good with Don, yep.
So I have a good running story for you.
All
I
right.
was fishing on Lake Michigan during a air show, and a big thunderstorm came in. I happened to be fishing south of the Navy Pier, so I decided to go run into a protected harbor.
Okay.
So I'm flying down Lake Michigan, 60 miles an hour, and I didn't see anybody over to my left. I've got all the goggles on, so I couldn't see very well. I take a left just north of Navy Pier, and I'm flying across as fast as I can go during this thunderstorm, and all of a sudden I heard a giant rumbling. I thought I was going to get run over by like one of those huge giant cigar boats. A couple seconds later, I look over, and it's the Canadian Snowbirds flight team flying right over top of my head, probably only a couple hundred feet up. And
wow.
I about lost it. I I kept flying in. I went into the harbor. I was scared to death.
That was probably that rumble that you could like feel all the way in your spine.
Oh yeah, you could feel it coming for seconds, and then turned on their afterburners as they popped right over me, which I guess I ended up driving through Show Central, so I was the talk of the town for a little bit.
And you weren't supposed to?
No, I wasn't supposed to.
It was raining and you had your goggles on and everything that said, hey, this area is closed for the air show or whatever. You were just like, didn't see that at all, and then all of a sudden drove right through the middle of the show.
Yeah, I was doing like 60, 65 miles an hour during a rainstorm, goggles on. I couldn't see anything, nothing in front of me. All I could see was the shore, and I was pretty sure that the harbor was over there somewhere. So I was flying through, and I flew right through Show Central, right underneath the Canadian Snowbird.
Did anyone like track you down or anything?
No, it was so bad. It was like one of the worst thunderstorms of the summer. So I was harbored in the harbor there for a little bit, and boat got flooded. It was a fun day.
Wow. That's a pretty good story.
How's the smallmouth fishing gotten out there? Has it gotten better since Woo won?
I live in Central Illinois now. I'm just a little north where you grew up.
Okay.
So I don't get up there a whole lot. But it's amazing up there.
Wow. Good stuff.
Very cool. All right,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Appreciate you calling. All right.
You ever been on the water when when one of those float planes is doing the landing and taking off, Mark? On Grand, I've been there. And the guy was going right down the main drag there in Drowning. Just taking off, setting down, taking off, setting down. And like it was during practice for one of the days. It was during the week. It was like on a Thursday at like noon. And I'm in there and this plane just kept, right there. Like if you're running, you had to be careful.
Yeah, that happened at Tin Killer one time, of all places. There's a little bitty airport around there, and I guess this guy was trying to get certified or do something on water landings, and he was doing it on Lake Tin Killer. So kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to turn you down here. And then we're going to continue battling through this process here. The technique that we're having to use to get these three-way calls in, I'm going to do a little bit more research. And the next time that we do this, see that we don't have to go through the certain process that we're going through here. Hey, who is this? Hey, who is this?
Hey, this is Bryce from Illinois.
Bryce, what's on your mind, man?
Back to back, Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm up by the Quad Cities.
I played hockey there for a year.
For the Blues?
For the Quad City Express. They don't exist anymore.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. You know right there where the arena is?
I actually grew up playing in Rockford.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go over and watch the Ice Hogs play.
Oh, right on. And back in the UHL days?
Yeah, heck yeah, man. So that is it Lock and Dam 16 or 14 that's right there by the Quad City Sports Complex? They used to have
that's
big
14.
Yeah, right underneath there. After every practice, we would go work out. I let my coach, we had like an 8 p.m. curfew. I was a 20-year-old though. I said, dude, I understand this curfew is like to keep people from going out and doing crazy stuff. I was like, but they catch walleye at night down there. So if I'm right below that lock and dam, can I stay out till 10? He's like, yeah, just don't tell any other guys. So I would use the glow grubs, and I met there's like a bunch of homeless people that live in that area, but I met a dude who fished who's like, dude, I've been down here for 15 years. You tell him you're with Big Mike. No one will mess with you. So I think it's Big Mike was his name. We'd go down and we'd fish below that Lock and Dam 14, catch giant walleye, and then we would use a bike rim, and they put 3 tethers on it, rep the net, and then when you took a walleye, you drop it down, swim it into the net, and they'd pull it up. Caught a bunch of like 6 to 8 pound walleye over there that year. It was good times. Anyway, sorry. What's up?
Wow. There's I do kind of some fishing down on 14, but I fish a lot of bass tournaments up on 13. Man, it's good fishing up there. I got a funny story. It involves I was catfishing with my father-in-law. And this was, I think, last year. We were out on the Rock River, and I mean, it was a slow day. We're just using Cheese Bay, just out there, having fun. And we go to this island point, and it's the last stop of the day. It's getting ready to get dark, so we sit there for a couple of minutes, and we don't get a bite. Well, I'm reeling in, and it feels like I got tension on the line, so I thought I snagged something. Well, I did. It was a green bag. So I'm pulling this bag in, and I can see it. I'm thinking, maybe I hooked some stolen money or something. I'm thinking about to have a lucky day. And we get it up on the boat, and it's full of water, so I can't see what's in there. So I open this bag up, and it's crap, and it gets all over the deck of the boat, all over my hands.
Oh, it's like actually crap.
Oh.
Yeah, it's legit crap.
Like just a bag of human crap.
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not
by
good.
far the weirdest thing I've ever caught.
That's not good.
I feel bad for you, man.
Wow.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, I control my stomach pretty good, but yeah, that's by far the grossest thing I've ever caught on the river.
Oh, someone had a bag of crap and just chucked it over a bridge, and then it floated down there, and then out of all of the square inches that your hook went through, it went through the square inch the bag of crap was in.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, that was my funny story. I got one more if you guys got a few seconds here. It's a short one.
Sure.
It's kind of not a sketchy run story, but before I owned a boat, my buddy's grandma had a fishing ski, and we decided to take it out on the stretch of the river that I grew up on, and I knew how to run the channels and stuff. Well, my buddy, he's one of those stubborn guys that you can't tell anything to, and he always knows best and stuff. So I'm like, hey, just trust me on this. Let me run the boat. And so we go up to the dam. We're fishing. We're catching white bass and stuff, and we're gonna go back. Well, he's begging me. He's like, "Oh, just let me run the boat. Let me run the boat. I know the channels. I've been on the river." And I'm like, "All right, man." So I'm not kidding you. Not even a minute into it, he trims her up. We get on pad, and he runs on the right side of the channel where it's about 1.5 feet of rocks, and he blows out the lower unit. Not even a minute after he wanted to take control of the boat.
Oh, jeez.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. He just kind of looked at me, and I'm like, I told you so. So dropped the trolling motor and got it back to the ram.
And he had to pay for a lower unit.
Yeah.
What's that?
Did he have to pay for the lower unit?
Oh yeah, his grandma was not happy about that because it was his grandpa's boat that passed away a few years prior, and it had like not been on the water at all. And the first time we take it out, it comes back with a busted lower unit.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So, anyways,
appreciate it. Stay
all right,
safe.
yeah, thanks. I really enjoy your guys' show.
Thanks,
yep,
man.
You too.
All right, see ya.
Bag of crap.
That's not good, dude.
No.
Not good. Hey, Andy in Indiana wants to know, what's the sketchiest boat ride that you've taken with a pro? I know mine.
The sketchiest boat ride that I've taken with a pro. Obviously, that would be the last classic that they had. I think that the last classic they had down in Louisiana. And I wanted to go in the first day of the tournament. I wanted to media observe with someone who I knew was running to Venice from, what is that? Where do they take out of?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
So like months before the tournament, I called up guys and I called Kelly Jordan, who was in it, and I said, hey, are you planning on running to Venice in the tournament? And he said, yeah. Why? And he said, I mean, don't tell anyone that. And I said, no. I said, I want to media observe with someone who runs to Venice. And he's like, you're nuts. And I was like, I want to do it though.
Yeah.
So I got him the first day of the classic and ran to Venice, and that was the tournament that everyone was worried about the fog and put the radar on their boats.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Kelly didn't, and Kelly's actually pretty safe, like really safe driver. So we're running, and it's super sketchy, and obviously I trust these guys. It's like you have to get gas on the way down and on the way back. And you're like out in the Gulf and there's like metal pipes and you have oyster beds and all sorts of crazy
crab
stuff
traps.
you have to run. Crab traps.
Yeah.
But then on top of it, you get halfway down there and visibility is literally zero.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing was you had guys, so you're in the middle running down to Venice with all this stuff that you can hit, all these flats. You have channels, canals, open water. Then you've got big boats that are out there that you can't see, but you can hear and you can feel the wakes. And then he was an early boat draw, and all the rest of the guys who had the radar caught up to him. So now you've got guys that are ripping past on pad while Kelly's like, screw this. I ain't running in this stuff. You don't know what the heck's out there. So then he just uses his GPS to get over while guys are like running past. And then he eventually got down there. He was only able to fish for like an hour maybe, caught a limit, pushed it too far, and then had to take a shortcut on the way back that he had never taken before through the oyster beds in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's super hard to explain, but there's like these white little 2-inch PVC posts that stick up like 10 or 15 feet. I don't know what they're marking, stumps or the oyster beds or whatever.
Crab traps. That's what they're
and
marking.
Kelly just starts running them at like 75. And you could tell because everyone else is coming back from Venice, you can tell like they're like a quarter mile to the left, like in a little bitty channel. And Kelly is just running this stuff. I mean, like you had to keep your shoulders and stuff in the boat because it would have like ripped it out. And he's just dodging it. I mean, at 72 miles an hour the entire way back. It was pretty crazy, but I'm really glad I did it. I mean, I'm glad I'm with someone who knew what was going on. But by far, that was easily the sketchiest run.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I made that run 3 times, and it was the classic that Ike won. What was that? 2000? Is that right?
2003?
2003, is that right?
Yeah.
Anyway, once with Kenyon Hill, once with Kelly, I made that same run, and then I don't even remember who the third one was with. It might have been with Kenyon again, but Kenyon was pushing it, the same thing. He was late, and we went the back way instead of going through the Gulf. I mean, the Gulf is scary, but that back way is scary too because of all the little canals and cuts and everything else that you're going through.
And every time you pop out of a canal, it's like it's like there's one going one way and one going the other. So you don't know what the hell is there. You can't get off pad because it's like 2.5 feet. So you literally, it's like picture driving a country road in the plain states when the corn's like 3.5 foot tall. Like, there's probably not anyone else coming on, that intersection on the road, but like you basically just like have to run it.
Oh, it was crazy. And then the other one that really sticks is when I was an amateur. It was like the second Central Pro-Am.
Because you're a pro now?
No. I'm talking about
back when you're an amateur?
No. The Central Pro-Am. You had pros and then you had amateurs, and I was an amateur.
Okay, so you were basically a co-angler.
Yeah, back then they called them amateurs.
AMs and pros, okay.
Yeah, all right. So it was like the second one I had ever fished, but it was the first one that the guy looked at me and said, I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. It's a little sketchy. It's going to take us a while to get there. Just make sure you hang on. And when he said that, I kind of thought, holy crap, where's he going? And the only thing that I could think of was, dude, we went all the way to Miami. Or Miami.
What was this on?
On Grand. Yeah. Yeah, all the way past, because the lake was up, past the I-40 bridge up the Neosho.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was white knuckle, and you know what he did? He ran all the way up there to throw a Carolina rig on this current that was going through there.
Did he catch him?
Oh, yeah, he caught him. I think he ended up in second or third place.
Did you catch him?
Oh, hell no. I was, like, peeing my pants. I seriously was scared to death.
Huh.
Scared to death, and I've never even remotely been close. It's funny, every time I go past that I-40 bridge and I see a trickle of water going through there, I was like, yep, fished right there just past the bridge. And there's no way you can get to it unless the water's at a certain level there. But yeah, it was pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. All right, I'm going to turn you down. We're going to take one more phone call, and then we're going to wrap things up here, and then we're going to have to decide who we're going to give the stuff to. I want to remind everybody.
I got to listen to the replay of the show first because I missed some calls.
We'll tell them tomorrow. That's what we'll do. When we have, we're going to have Gene Gilliland in studio tomorrow. We'll let everybody know tomorrow who we're going to give the prize packs to, but we're looking for one more phone call. So let me turn you down. And we'll take one more phone call and kind of wrap this up and know what we need to work on for next time. All right. I will do everything I can to get this taken care of to where we don't have such a delay. But like I said, I did everything that I was supposed to do. We tested it. We did everything that we thought we needed to do to make sure that this was going to work. It is working, but unfortunately we have to go through a couple of steps to make it work, and I will do everything I can to make sure that we don't have to go through that again. So one more phone call. Let me bring Matt back in. All right, you there, man?
Yep.
All right, here's a call right here. Let's see if we can get it dialed in here. Hey, who is this?
Hi, this is Cody. What's up?
Cody.
How we doing, Cody?
Where are you calling from, man?
Massachusetts.
All right, very nice, man. What's on your mind? What do you got?
Well, I got a crazy story for you guys. Last year, I was out in my boat in the Connecticut River, idling through a bridge, and all of a sudden, from my left side, a jet ski comes flying out of nowhere, crosses 15 feet in front of me, goes to my right side, does a little 360, comes back and hits me right in the side of the boat where I was sitting. Almost killed me.
What?
Yeah.
What was his explanation?
He didn't see me. And mind you, I have a bright yellow Skeeter.
Was he okay? Were you okay?
Oh, yeah. Everyone was fine. He went flying 40 feet, which was pretty satisfying to watch. But my boat, they cracked the fiberglass on my boat, and his jet ski slid back and cracked the motor cowling. It was a mess.
So it wasn't like he was just driving his jet ski and then didn't see you and hit you. Like he was showboating, showing off, and just completely oblivious to the fact that you were idling under there. It was probably running in a no-wake area, too.
Pretty much. It was right under a bridge.
You have to call the cops?
Oh, yeah. The cops came. They were like, what the heck is this guy doing? So, ended up, it was him and his brother. His brother was standing right there on shore. They just switched off. And it was his first time on it. The jet ski was like 2 days old. No insurance.
Oh, jeez. That's horrible.
So,
Now,
it cost me quite a. Well, I had insurance, luckily, but cost me 3 months of fishing time while the boat was getting fixed in the heat of the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
Now,
Nothing you did wrong either.
Matt, what do you remember about the Connecticut River? Is there a thought in your mind that you can recall about the Connecticut River?
Me?
Anything?
Martin with the jet boat.
That's it. He's dead on.
And I was just north of that area. That's actually a very sketchy part of the river to run. You got to know what you're doing in the summertime.
Do you remember that, Matt, at all?
I do not. No.
Yeah, that was...
it was awesome.
Yeah, he pulled a rabbit out of the hat and decided to use a jet boat during... This is back in the BP 150 days, and Roland shows up with a jet boat and just absolutely smashed him and destroyed everybody else.
He jumped up the dam over there and then...
Where'd they take off of?
They took off in Hartford, Connecticut, and Roland went north.
And everyone else went south.
If you have a paper map that says impassable by boat.
It was great. And that TV show was awesome that they did back in the TNN days. That's what it was, man.
You can find it on YouTube. It's a great... You can find it on YouTube.
I will watch it after this show's over.
Yep.
It's really, really, really good. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Hey, glad to get in touch with you guys.
All right.
Appreciate the show.
All right, man. Take care.
I got a jet ski story, Mark.
Do tell.
So Fort Gibson, right?
Do tell.
Flat Rock. How wide would you say the gap in the railroad bridge is up at the end of Flat Rock that goes up into that creek? Boat width wide? 2 boat widths wide?
Maybe 3, but probably 2.
Practicing for a Bass Nation last year. This still pisses me off when I tell this story. And I'm literally fishing the cement piling on the going up the river there on the right-hand side, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the channel there, underneath the railroad bridge, underneath the railroad tracks, a flipping distance away from that cement piling. So there's maybe 15 feet between the other piling and the edge of my boat, and I'm facing upriver. I hear something coming, and it's a jackass on a jet ski, wide open. Now and the only reason I say that is because this truly was a jackass. And you have to idle under all the bridges in Oklahoma. That's law, right?
Yeah.
So I figure this guy's going to shut down. No. This dude aims right at me and knows that I'm sitting in the middle of that channel. And at 65 miles an hour comes probably 1.5 feet away from my boat and does this little fishtail thing as he passes and throws about 20 gallons of water in the boat as he goes flying past for 5 feet.
Jeez.
So I yank my trolling boater up to go follow the guy. And this is where it gets crazy. So here comes another one right behind him, and it's like the guy's family. Like wife and kid on it. And they shut down and idle. And I said, "Can you believe that guy?" And she's like, "Yeah, well, that's my husband, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, thank you for slowing down and being courteous, unlike him." And I should have followed him back to the ramp that I know that they were going to right there in the park and reported him, because it was I'm so upset about that still. But the guy it was terrifying for about a 3-second deal where it's like, okay, he's not shutting down, and not only is he shutting down, but he's pissed that I'm in the middle of the bridge and is going to showboat it and try to play chicken with me.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, it pissed me off. Still pisses me off if you can't tell.
Yeah, you're a little bitter about that. All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Frank in Michigan wants to know what your best tinkering story is. He wants to know yours, and then I'll tell mine real quick. So what's your best tinkering story?
My best tinkering story?
Yeah. I'm
not a huge tinkerer on this stuff, man. I mean, Sharpie on the blade of the green pumpkin chatterbait that was originally silver before the jackhammer came out with the matte.
Yeah.
I put a feather treble sometimes on the front of a glide bait if I can get him to follow it and not commit. But as far as I mean, when I try to tinker, I ruin stuff. So like, I ruin pop bars, I ruin crankbaits, like I ruin the stuff that I'm trying to fix. So like, it's the same reason why I like oil my reels, but don't ever take them apart to fix them, because I know that I like won't be able to put that stuff back together.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not a great tinkerer.
Interesting.
I like to use baits other people have tinkered with and make it work, but I don't have any confidence in my own ability to tinker.
I thought you messed around with swim baits a lot, though.
That's what I said. I'll put different, but that's like feather treble, split rings, eyes on the bait and stuff. I'm not in there like changing the freaking line tie angles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just changing hardware.
I remember this was a number of years ago. The old Angler's Choice. Do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
They were team tournaments.
Yeah, that was like right around when I kind of came to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Pat and I were fishing together, the guy that I fished with at UPS for years and years and years. And he walked into the hotel room, and I had spray paint. I had sandpaper, spray paint, red hooks, and feathers. And he's like, "What the heck are you doing?" So I took one of those vintage 3-hook spooks.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Thunder and lightning.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I took one of those original 3-hook spooks, sanded it completely down with my hands, right? Not with a Dremel tool or anything. The best I could. It looked like absolute crap. I had a can of Krylon black spray paint, so I painted it black, and then I had some orange fingernail polish, of which for some apparent reason I thought that I needed an orange stripe on the bottom of this black spook, and put fingernail polish on the bottom of the spook, then put a red hook on the back and regular hooks on the front, and then glued in feathers.
Red hook on the back.
Yeah, glued in feathers on the red hook, and connected the feathers with copper wire on the hook.
That sounds like a freaking nightmare, Mark.
And went out and freaking blasted them the next day on that spook.
Hey, you probably could have just picked one up off of the the rack and caught them exactly the same.
But listen to what happened. Toward the end of the day, I think we had like 18, 19 pounds. Toward the end of the day, dude, I went to make a cast, and what happened to the spook? Granted, I wasn't using braid.
Did it go flying off onto the bank?
In a tree. And guess where in the tree? About 20 feet up. Yeah, there was. It was done over. And what's weird is I never painted up another spook like that. It was the only time I ever did that. I might need to do that again and just tinker around and do that. But yeah, it was crazy. I don't know why I thought I needed an orange stripe on the bottom, but I did. Interesting. All right, man, what else? Tomorrow, big show. We're going to have Gene Gilliland in studio to answer anybody's questions on fish care and really anything when it comes to fisheries biology. And then they announced this brand new, not brand new, but new program.
The AFCO grant.
Yeah. For
up to
conservation.
$5,000.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. So what are you going to do today, Matthew?
Go back and review the show once you kind of get it edited, get the replay up. Like the only calls that I got to hear were Daniel, Frankie, Vicky, Dennis, Jeff, Don, Bryce, and Cody. So I'll go back through, and then I'll let you know about the X Plasma Asagai and then the Big Bite Baits.
All right, very nice. You're going to be on tomorrow, right?
If you want me to.
Yeah, we just won't.
I'll be on for the first segment up until Gene comes in.
Yeah, we just won't take
Gene will keep you busy, trust me. If it's not horrible out, I mean, the Bass Nations got canceled, the Open got canceled. I'm going crappie fishing. I got to go crappie fishing again, Mark.
All right, very nice.
But it just kind of depends on the wind and the weather and stuff, so.
All All right, I want to let everybody know I'm trying to get shows booked up over the next couple of weeks. I do have Rick Pierce is going to make an appearance next Thursday, 1 week from today. Rick.
Story time.
Yeah, he's got some great stories, and we'll get Rick on to pass along some of his experiences in the bass fishing world. And then a lot of it depends on whether or not, as of right now, Major League Fishing is going to continue with their schedule headed to North Carolina. So if for some reason that does get postponed, we will try and get some of those guys on. I've reached out to a number of the bass guys, Elite Series guys. So a lot to look forward to here over the next 2-3 weeks right here on BTL. I want to thank everybody for calling in. Thank you for having an enormous amount of patience today on the show. Matt, great job, man. Really good stuff, and we'll chat tomorrow.
All right, see you guys.
All right. That's it, everybody. We're out of here.